Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fancy Football. This is the Euro Big Five. Good to have you on the show, and we'll talk about the Premier League. Is the Premier League now a two-horse race between Arsenal and Chelsea? I just think that if you look at the writing on the wall, the Premier League is between Arsenal and Chelsea now, and we just have to wait and see, maybe until the final day, to see what the results will be all about. But seeing these two teams, seeing what they've done during the midweek, especially with City last night, City just ruthlessly beat Brighton by 4 goals to nil. And Arsenal made a statement win against Chelsea that anybody that wants to stand on their way in this Premier League running, that we will also brutally beat that team. And we saw that against Chelsea, 5 goals to nil, 2 goals from former Chelsea player Carl Havertz. And it was an exciting night for Arsenal. Looking at the state of play in the Premier League now, you see that Arsenal have 77 points. Look at the table on your screen. Arsenal have 77 points with 4 games to go, and Manchester City have 76 points closely with 5 games to go. So they have 1 game in hand compared to Arsenal that have no game in hand. And City have to win all those games to ensure that they win the Premier League on the final day. And Arsenal also have to do their own business to ensure that they also win the Premier League on the final day and hope that City drop point against any of these 5 teams that are remaining. But it's a big task to ask for the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester City. They have to go unbeaten in their last 5 games. And Manchester City also have to go unbeaten in their last 5 games as well. But this is what the Premier League is all about. This is what football is all about. And this is what we should be expecting in the next few weeks in this running. If you look at Arsenal matches, the matches that are coming on Arsenal way, you will discover that Arsenal, their next 4 matches, they will have Tottenham at home, which will be this weekend on Sunday. Bournemouth away, Manchester United away. A tough knock to crack as well for Arsenal. They have only 1 win in their last maybe 20 visits thereabout to Old Trafford, and Everton at home. So that is the picture of what Arsenal last 4 fixtures is all about. They are winnable games, but 2 of them I feel are difficult games. So they can go into those games ensuring that winning all these 4 games for Arsenal will guarantee us at least a chance to win the Premier League, depending on what happened in City's last 5 games. Sunday this weekend they will play Nottingham Forest. I think for some of us that are on defense, will think it will be very simple for City. But this is football. This is the Premier League, and anything can happen. They will welcome Wolf to the Manchester City Stadium, and they will go away to Craven Cottage against Fulham. Tottenham at home as well, which is also a very away as well to Tottenham, which is also a very big enough not to crack as well. Then West Ham United on the final day. So I want to ask you and look at also our question on the day. Who do you think will win the Premier League? And also chat up with me. Do you think the Premier League is now a two-horse race? Since Liverpool dropped points when they lost against Everton in the Merseyside derby. So tell me what you think about the Premier League. Tell me if you think who will win the Premier League this season, this summer. Will it be Arsenal for the first time in more than 2 decades? Or will it be a 4th time running for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City? Tell me what you think. Now I look at this team and I look at what they could really do. 77 points, 76 points, City with 1 game in hand. And we all talk about the weaknesses in these two sides. I think there are no weaknesses in these two sides. The only thing that might come to play is complacency, and I don't think any of these two sides will be complacent with their last games going to the final day of the Premier League? I don't think so. But tell me what you think, uh, based on what you have said, and tell me where do you think the pendulum will swing from now to the final day of the Premier League? If you look at just look at their runnings, where do you think City will have a crack? Where do you think Arsenal will have a crack? Is it against Manchester United that is not firing in all cylinders, or do you think it's against West Ham on the final day that City will drop point? Tell me where do you see these teams dropping point to the final? Liverpool, for me, I think they're out of the race. Some person will say, not really truly, but that is what it is with 74 points on the log, and with the way these two teams are playing currently now, I think for me, Liverpool season is over in terms of winning the Premier League. Tell me what you think. I'll be expecting your comments on this issue. Chat up with me and tell me where do you think the pendulum will swing on the final day. For those of us watching us, if you're watching us, please kindly subscribe to Fancy Football, hit the notification bell, and help us to promote this channel. Okay, let's look at these two sides. Manchester City. If you look at Manchester City in their last 5 games that they've played, just 1 draw and 4 wins, which is good for them, impressive for them. And for Arsenal, just 1 loss, which was against Aston Villa. And most of us didn't really see that coming, but Villa went to the Emirates Stadium and got a 2-0 win, not just a goal, but a 2-0 win at the end of the day. But when you look at the way Arsenal went to that match, I think they went with the complacency, thinking that they were going to beat Villa mercilessly in that match. But it didn't really pan out the way they think. Villa stood their ground, defended well, wait for Arsenal, hit them on the break, and they got their win. And the rest is history for Aston Villa. For Manchester City, a lot of us thought that after playing 120 minutes against Real Madrid at home and they lost on penalties, they immediately went to the FA Cup as well. Also played Chelsea. Not until the dying minute, Bernardo Silva gave them a 1-0 win in the FA Cup semi-final in Wembley, that they ensure that they are on their way to Wembley. They'll be up for a double eventually. They win the Premier League, they win the FA Cup, to be a double for them. It will not be a bad season for Pep Guardiola and his side. Now, let's look at other fixtures in the Premier League. If you look at other fixtures in the Premier League, it's sure that the early kickoff on Saturday, on Saturday will be let's look at Saturday's fixtures. Let's pull out Saturday's fixtures for you. Okay, Saturday's fixtures will be West Ham at home to Liverpool, Fulham at home to Crystal Palace. That game will be played in London, Craven Cottage. Manchester United versus Burnley. Manchester United would love to see Tottenham drop point to see if they could catch up with them in the place for the Champions League. But let's see how that one goes. Then Newcastle will be at home to Sheffield United. Sheffield United last time out, they lost against Manchester United, and Newcastle also last time out, they also lost against Crystal Palace by 2-0. Wolverhampton will welcome Luton Town. Luton Town, I think they are poised for relegation. Most of those relegation battling sides, Luton Town, Sheffield United, Burnley, those sides that came up last time out, eventually will be the side that will go down this season. Sheffield United, they're just there with just only two wins, or 2 wins in the entire season. And then we'll see Everton versus Brentford. If Everton win this match, I think they will be on course to get away from the relegation zone and to survive the drop for this season. Let's move on. Aston Villa, last match will be Aston Villa at home at the Villa Park to Chelsea. Chelsea last time out were beaten 5-0 by Arsenal, by local rivals Arsenal in the London Derby. So this is how the weekend is going to shape up for these teams, and eventually some will be declared relegated. The likes of Burnley, the likes of Sheffield United, the likes of Luton Town. If I think for Sheffield United, mathematically they should be relegated. They should be, but it will be confirmed over this weekend. At the end of the day, so this is how the weekend for the Premier League is shaping up, and hopefully we'll see how it will pan out for these clubs and how far they could go. Now let's move. Let's look at still let's go back to the top of the league. And I'm still concerned about the top of the league and what I think these two sides can do going forward. And when you look at Arsenal in particular, I think Arsenal should just go into all these matches, not being afraid, not being complacent, play their normal football, not trying to stifle team, ensure that they play directly, not trying to do much. They just have to go into this match and see that they do all this at the end of the day to ensure. And for City, they have a style of play. They are majestic in what they do, and they know how to play this kind of matches, especially in the last 10 matches of the league. They know how to do it. And when they come against Nottingham Forest at home at the City Stadium, I am telling you, Nottingham Forest just need to watch out. If not, so they will ship in goals on that day. But I trust Nuno Espirito Santos, the coach of Nottingham Forest. He will know how to manage his team at the end of the day. He will know how to put his team in the right path. You look at this match between Brighton and Manchester City, and everybody thought that Brighton will put up a good fight. Brighton will do this, will do that. But at the end of the day, in the first half, it was just, how do I even put it? Before we knew it, it was 3 goals to nil in the first half, and the match was over. But we expect more from teams like Brighton. We expect more from teams like Nottingham Forest. But this is football, and this is what I think we should be looking. We should be looking at. Look at City's average position. Look at their position in the league. They were as low as for City. They were as low as fourth in the league. I think they were just coming up. They came down against Wolves. They lost against Wolves. Wolves also lost against Arsenal back to back. If you look at they drew their 3 matches in a row and lost, and then they went on and won against Luton Town 1 goal to nil. Just look at their running in up to where we are, up to week 33. Look at against Crystal Palace, they drew as well at the Etihad Stadium, and they won. At that time, they were position 4th. People were just saying, "Oh, City." They won again. They came to 3rd. Look at them against Sheffield United 2-0. Then they beat Newcastle United 2-3 and maintain their winning streak all along with a being second position. And they did a back-to-back draw against Arsenal and Liverpool. Everybody thought that, City will not win the league this year. They went on again, whooping, beat Aston Villa 4-1, beat Crystal Palace 4-2, and they went on top of the league as of 13th of April. You saw them beating Luton Town by 5 goals to 1. Then they came down as well because they were not in action before their game against Brighton. Then Arsenal took that first place. So they are now in second with the game in hand. And let's see how they will perform against Nottingham Forest. Because when you look at this Forest side as well, this Forest side, they are also not easy to crack because of the way they play. But let's see how they will be set up and they have a very difficult place it's a very difficult place to go. The City ground is a very, very difficult place to go, if you ask most teams. But for City, I think they should be able to handle it at the end of the day. So let's look at Arsenal. Arsenal, I think their average position has always been averagely. You look at the season started in 4th position with a win against Nottingham Forest. They went on to 3rd. They drew against Fulham. They beat Manchester United by 3 goals to 1. That pushes them to 4th. Everton by 1 goal to nil. And we all thought that, okay, they play Tottenham at Emirates Stadium. For them, it was a very difficult match. Uh, Playing your local rivals is a very difficult match anywhere you go to. So, and they drew that match. Then Bournemouth, the big Bournemouth, and it has always been an upper trajectory. And we thought for Arsenal, I think everything should be okay for them. Then they came down when they were second in October 28. We saw them thinking that yes, Arsenal have come of age. They were second. They were second at that moment. Then they lost to Newcastle by one goal to the controversial circumstances. Now, let me put it. We all know that match. Then they bounced back, won 3 games at a stretch, from the match against Burnley to their match against Luton Town, where they narrowly won, beat Luton by 4 goals to 3. Then they lost again the following week to Aston Villa. So Aston Villa has done a double against them this season. Then moving down, we saw them thinking that this defeat against Villa will cause some shake against in Arsenal last year. Also, so they welcome Brighton, beat Brighton, and the next 3 matches they played, it ended up in a loss. Drew against Liverpool at home and away. Then West Ham beat them by 2 goals to 0. Then we expect more to Fulham again. Then they got that pace and maintained their third position. They continued and they won their last 8 games. Then drew finally against Manchester City. We look at the Arsenal side and we say, okay, where are the weaknesses? I think Aston Villa with the one that exposed them is in terms of don't allow yourself as a team to be your game. Sorry, don't allow your game plan to be dictated by your opponent, and that's what happened against Aston Villa. They allowed their game plan to be dictated by Aston Villa in that match, and that's why they lost at the end of the day. So quickly, let's go into other match other things. Let's move away from the Premier League. Let's go into the Spanish La Liga. Look at the Spanish La Liga. At the end of the day, the state of play in the Spanish La Liga is no different from what we have seen so far in the La Liga. I think for some of us that follow all this league, we know what is entailed for teams to go into these matches and see if they could get 1 or 2 at the end of the day. But we saw the El Clasico last week. We saw Real Madrid, and we expected them to do a lot in the El Clasico, and eventually they did enough to win the El Clasico last time out. If you look at the El Clasico itself, Madrid, knowing fully well that they have to win to extend their lead against Barcelona, which was then 8 points. They just needed to win to take that point, a comfortable 11 points. Knowing fully well that in their last 6 matches, they will need 4 wins. Sorry, 4 wins in a row in their last 6 matches to ensure that they win the La Liga title for the 36th time in their history. So I don't know what you think. Is the Spanish La Liga done and dusted? Is the Spanish La Liga done and dusted, or do we see any surprise from Real Madrid at the end of the day? Do we see any surprise? Do we see any slip off from Real Madrid at the end of the day? I think for me, if you ask me, I don't think so. There are no slip off from Real Madrid at the end of the day because I think they've stayed in that top of the league for a while, and we expected them to remain there till the end of the season, to their next 6 games, where they will leave the title up. If peradventure, I just think that even though they will lose, they will not lose more than 2 games. But with this Real Madrid side, we are all seeing, I think it's going to be a tough nut to crack for any team in the Spanish La Liga. They've only lost they've only lost twice this season. If you look at what they've done all season long, they've lost twice, and they've not lost against their bitter rivals Barcelona this season. They've not lost, beat Barcelona home and away, thanks to Jude Bellingham, the English boy. that has made the Santiago Bernabeu his home. So thanks to him, and thanks to the likes of Vinicius Junior, who he has around them, they've shown that they could really come of age with respect to what they have or what they can bring up to the table for this Real Madrid side. And kudos to Carlo Ancelotti. I call him the Italian genius. He's been wonderful so far this season. He has done a great job for Real Madrid, and he knows his team. And that's the manager that knows his team. Even despite when people were saying his team packed the bus against uh, Barcelona. I mean, against Manchester City in the Champions League. I say, who cares? Who cares? The only thing that is the only difference between you and winning the league is stopping your opponent from scoring goal and also scoring. And he did. He did score a goal and he also stopped his opponent from scoring a goal at the end of the day, taking that match to penalties and winning that match at the end of the day. But this is what it is. This is what the football is all about. This is what I think a team should learn, especially when you're playing away in the Champions League. You should learn how to be conservative. You should learn how to be tight. Not only in the Champions League, even in the Premier League, even in the Spanish La Liga, you should learn how to hold your own. Tactically, you have to be good. And Carlo Ancelotti, I think for me, in terms of tactical discipline of a manager when it comes to what happened on the pitch, Carlo Ancelotti is number one for me. So man, take it anywhere. Take it anywhere at the end of the day. So let's look at please kindly subscribe to Fancy Football. Help us grow Fancy Football. I think currently we are in the number 100 891 subscribers. Please kindly push us up higher. Kindly help us grow this channel. And at the end of the day, you help us grow. So subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for more updates as we come live. Okay, let's go into the latest news making rounds in the world of football these few days. For some of us, we saw the news at Barcelona last time out. So, and telling us that Xavi is set to stay in Barcelona beyond this season. After he came out in January telling us that he will be leaving the club, that I think enough is enough. He's tired, he's exhausted, and he wants to leave the club. But I think he has been persuaded, and I'll tell you the reason why all these things are happening. This persuasion of Xavi, and if you look at the world of football currently, I think there are fewer managers. Even in Spain, there are fewer managers that can come into that team, that Barcelona team, and do what is expected in terms of the style of play, in terms of bringing players through, in terms of winning trophies, in terms of fighting against Real Madrid as well. When it comes to winning laureates, Barcelona themselves knows that, they know it, and they eventually they know that they have to fight Real Madrid whether they like it or not. There are other new threats from them. Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone has been there, won the league in the past how many years? I think he has been there for close to 15 years, won the league twice. But Madrid is the main threat, and they need somebody that understands the league, that have played in the league, that have played against Madrid as well as a player, and understand how football is being run in the Spanish La Liga. So, and that is why I think he was persuaded to stay. And also, if you look at his contract said it will end at the end of 2025. I think he also saw that there is an obligation to honor that contract as well. Despite coming out in January telling us he wants to leave. He wants to leave Barcelona, that enough is enough for him. I think it's so brutal. But looking at the team, winning the trophy last time out with Barcelona, La Liga with Barcelona last time out, knowing fully well that there's an avenue for growth in Barcelona, I think that is why for me he is staying. Just look at the whole scenario in the league, and in the club, and look at what they have a project, a huge stadium coming up, and he will also be want to consolidate. When I mean consolidate, he will also want to usher in his team to that new status. So everything is working out plainly for Barcelona for good. What is left is just to raise the fund, raise the finances, and see what will happen at the end of the day for them as a club. Knowing fully well that everything has to happen for them in football currently. So that is what it is with Xavi and Barcelona, the relationship, the romance that cannot be ended just easily like that. He's a former player, you have seen it, he has done it, he has won it, and he has to help his club do it, see it, and win it in this century or in this decade. So I think that is his obligation. That is what I think Xavi is doing for Barcelona currently. So let's move on. Finally, I think in other news, we also saw Liverpool finally has gotten a replacement for Jurgen Klopp. Am I right? If I'm right, if I'm wrong, before we had it before, we thought there was a replacement for Jurgen Klopp from Ruben Armenian of Sporting Lisbon. But at the end of the day, Ruben rejected that job. He needed something else. He needed something different. He needed something enticing. And he thought Liverpool wouldn't really give him what he needed. And he came out to say he has no agreement with Liverpool. He has not done any deal telling Liverpool that he will be their next manager. He hasn't done that. And it is what is happening now that we all are seeing. And nobody expected that Liverpool will go for somebody in the Eredivisie, in the Dutch league, in the person of Arjen Slot. For me, if you ask me, or who is Arjen Slot, we all know, we know his pedigree, a very aggressive manager that wants to play like Jurgen Klopp. Yes, he's very, very aggressive. He knows his way in terms of what his formation should look like. 4-4-2, or 4-4-3, or 4-1-2-3. So that is how he plays. And he wants his players to be aggressive, just like Jurgen Klopp. Whether he could feel Jurgen Klopp shoes or not, time will tell if he gets the job as a manager. If he doesn't get that job as a manager, then we all know what will happen. So it is all for Liverpool to see if this guy can really cope with what they've already had on ground. What they've already had on ground, if this guy can cope with it, it will really help the club. What they have on ground is club style of play, whether we like it or not. It's the style of play of Jurgen Klopp. That's what they have on ground. So they have to see if this guy can cope with that style of play at the end of the day. He can bring in that same style of play that Klopp brought into the team at the end of the day. So, but it's a good one for Liverpool. He is a winner, not really a proven winner. He won the Heading last season. He won the KVB Cup this season recently for his club Feyenoord. But I think he's still in that process of being an elite manager, and that is why I agree with Jimmy Carragher when he says it seems globally now there are no elite managers in the world. Yes, there are no elite managers. Elite managers will come. There are times when you see we saw that time in terms of Fanzy, Wenger, and the rest of them left the scene. We saw Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. I won't say Rafa Benitez. Rafa Benitez is in between. We saw some good managers coming into the league and into the world and putting their imprint. Now we are also seeing people coming after the likes of the club, the likes of Xavi, Almiron, even what's his name, Arjen Slot also coming into this match. So let's see. It's a good one for Liverpool. It's a good one for Arjen Slot as well. Let's see how that relationship is going to pan out at the end of the day. So this much we can bring to you on Fancy Football. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we'll see you in our next episode of Europe's Big Five. Where I mind you, congratulations to Leverkusen, they won their league 2 weeks ago. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Inter as well. They won their league on Monday as well. I think it was a good one, a good feast for them. So congratulations to all these teams that have won. Even PSG will be on the verge of winning their league this weekend. So I think congratulations to them in advance as well. So that's the science seal and dusted. So we'll see you when we see you. We'll see you. Gracias.